I'm not proud to be fat. But I'm not ashamed either. This is my body. And you know what? I hate it. I hate my giant man tits.
What's up, guys? It's Cook, and sorry for the jump scare that video probably gave you when he took his shirt off and then started fondling his own man boobs. It made me pretty uncomfortable when I was looking through it. It kind of made me uncomfortable. But anyway, today I want to talk about an interesting topic that I thought was also worth talking about with Boogie2988. And is it okay to fat shame Boogie2988? Now, fat shaming in general is a bad thing, and it's a very common practice throughout the entire world. And it's a shame because I feel like fat people get the short end of the stick, right? Because people vape, people smoke, people, do combat sports even, or play football, which I played football. And there's so many different things people do that's extremely unhealthy for you. And being fat is just one of those things, right? Like if you're addicted to vaping, if you're addicted to smoking, that's what you're addicted to. And if you're addicted to eating food, that's what you're addicted to. It's like a drug. So, to me, being fat is just like smoking and vaping. And, in extreme cases, if you're like boogie fat, that's like doing heroin for your body. You know what I'm saying? In different varying cases of how fat you are is like different levels of addiction to like different things that could damage your body. But essentially being fat just damages your own body. It doesn't hurt people around you. So I think fat shaming is kind of a lame thing to do. Because it's like going up to someone who's smoking a cigarette on a street corner and being like, fuck you, you piece of shit, you smoking piece of shit. And it's like they're smoking a cigarette, guys, who gives a shit. Or someone vaping fucking in their hoodie, in the middle of your fucking class. It's like, well, he's just vaping, he's just hurting himself, he's not really affecting anyone else. So why do you really give a shit? And it's the same thing with fat people. Why care if they're hurting themselves? It's not healthy and it shouldn't be glorified, but who gives a shit? But with Boogie2988, I think it takes an interesting form. And I don't think you should really give anyone too much hate on the internet, but with Boogie, he uses his fatness as an excuse for so many different things. And that's where I'm like, okay, maybe we should fat shame him just a little bit, right? Because being fat and not complaining about it is one thing. You do not deserve to be hated on or insulted if you're just a fat dude because you like food and you don't complain about it. You just live through your life, you work hard, and you're just fat. Who gives a shit? But if you're fat and constantly complain about it to millions of people, to thousands of people, and just constantly complain about your fatness and never do anything about it, that's when it's like, okay, he's fucking being fat for sympathy at that point, right? He loves the sympathy that comes with being fat, and that is Boogie2988. So at that point, it's like, maybe you can fat shame. Maybe fat shaming is the right thing to do because you're using this issue, right, that you brought on yourself, because being fat is something you bring on yourself, just like smoking, just like drug addiction, just like all of those things is something you bring on yourself. It is your own fault 99% of the time if you're fat or if you're addicted to heroin. So yeah, if you have those issues, you probably brought it on yourself, and I don't really think you have too much right to complain about it. And the fact he always complains about it really pisses me off, because like, dude, at the point of your life that you were at in early YouTube, you're making tons of money. It's proven he was making tons of money. He's extremely successful, and he even got a gastric bypass surgery to help him lose tons of weight. And it's like, you had more resources available to you than anyone else ever has when overcoming their addiction, and you still failed to overcome it. You are rich, you are successful, and you still are a fat piece of shit, and you choose to be a fat piece of shit, right? Like, you could fix it, you could get help, but you don't, This isn't like a crack addict on the street who did crack once, and now their whole life is ruined. They have no resources to help themselves. This man is a millionaire, bro. Or he was a millionaire. Obviously, he's not now, but that's his own fault as well. So why don't you fucking fix it yourself, you fucking loser? Don't complain on that internet and try to get pity fucking money from all your fans. Lose the damn weight, bro. So in Boogie's case, if you fat shame him, I'm not going to bat an eye. Like, fuck him, bro. He deserves it. He had more options to get help for being fat than anyone else in the entire world. And, fuck him. But I don't agree with fat shaming just a random person that's just living their life and not complaining about it, Would you, some people do shame crack addicts on the street, but I feel like if you're addicted to food, it's like being addicted to any drug. And if you hate drug addicts, I guess you can hate fat people too. But if you're just hurting yourself, I really don't see the problem in it. And if you're not making a huge if you're not making a huge scene over it, who cares, man? Who cares? If you're just hurting, if they're just hurting themselves, who gives a shit, man? Who gives a shit? So, Don't fat shame, but you can fat shame Boogie is the fucking point of this video. If you're fat, lose weight, don't complain about it on the internet. Or if you don't want to lose weight because you like food, then okay, that's fine, just don't complain about it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all I got for this this video. I hope you guys enjoyed and understand where I'm coming from. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and peace out, guys. Stay blessed.